first day impression about Fujifilm X-T5. Let's talk about this now. Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Tudor Matescu and I like to talk about Fujifilm cameras, photography tips and tricks. So if you are liking content like this, please subscribe now because I'll post more content about Fujifilm X-T5 and Fujifilm gear. So let's get to the subject. What are my first impressions about this camera? What are my first impressions about this camera? So I've opened the camera and I was amazed. I was amazed from the start when I put my hand on this camera. So I'm loving the grip. I am loving the grip. Also, I am loving the weight of this camera. Is light. Yes, it's not as light as an X-T4 or even as X Pro 3, but the weight is very well balanced. So you are feeling the camera very light in your hand, and with this grip and with all the ergonomics, this camera is perfection for my hand. The grip, I am loving it. The texture, I am loving the texture. It's a very sticky in a good way, So you have a very good grip, a very good grip on the camera. So the next point that I want to address is regarding the AF speed. The AF is crazy good. It's like a Sony A7C, A7R3, A7III camera, and I'm talking about these Sony cameras because I'm filming myself now with a Sony A7R3. So the AF is detecting the faces and is tracking the faces and the eyes. Unbelievable good. It's amazing. I'm wowed how the AF is working. Yes, you have some missed shots at f1.4, but also the test that I was able to do, it was in very low light conditions. So I will test it more because, how I said, this is my first day with it. I've managed to test it just for an hour or two outside, but again, amazing AF. It's a totally another camera, is a totally another Fujifilm camera. Is having the AF of a modern full frame camera, and this is huge. And this is taking me to the next point, the image quality. The image quality, again, I didn't have time to pixel peep enough and to look enough, but the image quality is almost as a full frame camera. Yes, you are feeling the tonalities, you are feeling the details, and especially the tonalities. This is what I felt that I was missing from a Fujifilm camera. As my other subscribers are knowing, I have also Micro Four Thirds cameras, and I also said that the image quality of a Fujifilm camera is not great by much compared to a Micro Four Thirds camera, depending on the lenses and on the lighting conditions and so on. So you will gain a little better image quality with a normal Fujifilm camera, with an older Fujifilm camera, but with this sensor, my opinion is totally changed. And I've used the Sigma lenses, so this opinion is based on how the Sigma lenses rendered on this Fujifilm camera and how this 80mm f2 rendered on this camera. I didn't have time again to test it out more, but from what I'm seeing, the image quality is very close to full frame in tonalities, regarding the tonalities, so gradation, black and white tones, and so on. So this is huge. This means I have a small camera with the image quality of a full frame camera. I'm there. I really don't need at this time, this is what I feel, I really don't need, for me, for what I'm doing, even street photography, travel photography, landscape photography, I feel, for me, I'm not needing a full frame camera anymore with this sensor. I'm so wowed about the sensor image quality. And this is taking me to the next important, huge point. This point has to do with the Ibis. Because, how I've said in my previous video, if Fujifilm wasn't able to put a good Ibis, that it will be able to manage this big 40 megapixel sensor, then you will really have a problem, because a sensor with lots of megapixels is prone to movement and so on. But no, Fujifilm did it. Fujifilm was able to put a very capable Ibis unit in the camera. So I was able to shoot in the streets with the Sigma 56mm f1.4 lens by night at 1/125 without having moved shots. This wasn't possible before with the ease that I felt with this camera. So again, I'm feeling the Ibis is as close as to a Micro Four Thirds camera. So this means that we are having here Ibis from a Micro Four Thirds camera with the image quality from a full frame with the colors and the ergonomics of a Fujifilm camera. Is this crazy or what? Next, another point that I was very disappointed regarding Fujifilm cameras was the touchscreen, the touch to shoot gesture. It wasn't working like on a Micro Four Thirds camera. But no, this is not the case. The touch to shoot is working. Yes, it's not as fast as on my Olympus camera, but it's sufficiently fast. It's sufficiently fast. I'm not complaining now. I really don't feel that lag that will make me miss the shot. No, it's working. It's working. Yes, I would want it a little better, but it's good. It's good. I can't complain now. Having in mind what I have here. The next thing that I like a lot has to do with the dials. I'm loving these clicky dials, this locking dials, so you can lock the dials. Huge point. Also, what I like and I'm impressed again is regarding the exposure compensation dial. Very sturdy. I am loving it because I was bumping always my exposure compensation dial on Fujifilm X-T5, on Fujifilm X Pro 3 and so on. But no, this is a sturdy exposure compensation dial, and also the design, beautiful design, beautiful looking design. Another tidbit, but I like these details. It's like having a Leica here. It's like having a Leica camera because the attention to the details, attention to the finish of the product, to all the buttons and all the ergonomics is phenomenal. Fujifilm, I feel that they put all the knowledge and all the feedback in this camera. So I'm very impressed. So the tidbit has to do with this diopter dial. So if you want to set your diopters, you will need to pull the dial and after that push it back. Beautiful. And another thing that I really love about this camera has to do with the fact that I have enough custom buttons to put on these custom buttons all the functions that I want to use on my camera depending on the mode that I'm shooting. So I will use the touch gestures and I also will custom all the function buttons. I am loving the fact that I have so many custom buttons. Beautiful. And the next thing that I really love is the screen, the tilt screen. And also I've tried the portraiture mode screen. Beautiful option for portrait photography. It's beautiful. Also the Evf is very clear, is working very well, and you also have tons of customization controls and of little tricks that you can set in this camera. And the last point that I want to address has to do with the digital teleconverter of this camera. You have the option to set a custom button, how I've showed in my setup guide, check link in the card here, to digital zoom with this button. So you will not have to use the sports finder mode, but you can set up a button to digital zoom with your button. So you have a 1.4x crop and another 2.x crop, and also you have the option to shoot JPEG plus RAW. So you will also have the RAW file, so you can recompose in post-processing. Another thing that I'm loving it is the fact that this camera has more format modes. So you also have the 4:3 format. You also have the 4:3 format and also 5x4. So I'm loving this option. I'm sorry that they didn't include a panoramic format like X-Pen, but I can't wait to try shooting in this 4x3 format. Also regarding the video mode, I will test it a little more to express what I feel about videography with this camera, but for my initial test is great, and I'm loving that I have a red square that is showing me when I'm recording. So beautiful camera, beautiful ergonomics, beautiful attention to details, beautiful, all it's perfect. So for me, from my point of view, this Fujifilm camera surpassed a Leica, an X Pro 3 and any other camera that I was able to test and to look at it. Is, I don't know, I really can't ask for more from a camera like this. It's a top-notch camera regarding build quality, ergonomics, buttons and all that you need on this camera. So if you're liking content like this, please check my other videos about Fujifilm X-T5 right now, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.